Where are my seniors at? Raise your hands, please. Okay, so you came here 3 years ago. It's your third year, back when you were sophomores, right?
Yes, sir.
Where are the freshmen at? Okay, it's your first year here. So if I had new soldiers that were coming into my battalion, new privates, right out of basic training, and a lot of them are your same ages, I would tell the privates, and what I'm going to recommend to the freshmen is that you listen to the seniors, because they have the experience, they have the knowledge, and they have the maturity to steer you in the right direction. So just when we have new privates that come into the Army, so too do the non-commissioned officers and officers that have the experience. Make sure that those young privates do the right thing and listen to the leaders. So you've got a great coaching staff here. You were obviously brought on this team because you have the talent to get the ball into the end zone. You were brought on this team to be part of Syracuse University. Just like when privates are brought into the Army, they're brought in to defend our Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, which is essentially what we did in Afghanistan for 9 months, helping to get after the Taliban and to give the Afghan people an opportunity to fight against lawlessness and insurgency. Realize that what we have in the United States and here in America is beyond what these young kids that are your age in Afghanistan will ever dream of. We are all very fortunate as Americans, as American citizens, to have the opportunities and the freedoms that we have every day. And I learned that again during this deployment. And we are so blessed as a nation to be able to walk the streets without getting blown up, to be able to have a life that you want to have, that you choose to have, because of the freedoms of so many other Americans that have died in the defense of our country. So remember, as Americans, we have an obligation to live up to our reputation, and you as players have an obligation to live up to what's expected, and that is to what? To win, right? It does matter, like General Milley said 2 years ago, it does matter whether you win or lose or not. Nobody wants to see a number in the loss column. Coach Schaefer and all the fans expect you to have numbers in the win column. And so we went over to Afghanistan to win, and we had 2 soldiers that did not return, who will not see football games again, who will not ever be married, who will not have children, who will not have a life that you all have. One was shot through the mouth by a sniper. We were able to keep him alive for about 4 days, so his family was flown into Germany, where then they took him off life support. That man died and was shot in the face facing the enemy. He was shot in the face by a sniper round. The other soldier, his name was Danny Luck. Some of you may remember him from last year. He was on the sniper table when we did the camp, and you guys came over to my headquarters and we showed you all the weapons and stuff. Remember that? Yeah. Danny Luck was taller. So many of you may have met him. He is no longer in the formation. He is no longer on the team. If we called his name out, he would not respond. He is no longer with us. The other soldier, Specialist Chandler, was shot in the neck area with a machine gun that burst, that shot him. We were unable to revive him on the objective, and then his machine gunner was actually wounded. He was shot in the hip area, and he's had multiple surgeries. He's going to be fine, but he bears the scars of the responsibilities that they had that day to get after the enemy that was shooting rockets at Fob Shank, which is where we all lived. So realize that these colors don't run, and nor should the colors of Syracuse University and your football team run when it comes to being down in points, or you're down in players, or whatever it is that you're having to deal with. Realize that you all as a team are the ones that get the mission done. Because again, I learned that even more as a battalion commander in combat, that it's the greater team that gets Danny Luck off the objective and keeps him alive, or gets Chandler off the objective so we can memorialize him and honor him for his sacrifice. But never forget, men, that we as Americans are so blessed to even have college football in our country, to even have universities and free education, where the last 10 years it's just been a struggle in Afghanistan for children to have schooling and to learn how to read and write. The third poorest country in the world is Afghanistan. But there is a lot of hope with their new presidential elections that they've had. There'll be a unity of government. For those of you that are taking the college level politics and that stuff, history, you will see that Afghanistan has a very bright future. But there's been a lot of Americans that have died in order to make that happen. Even more Afghans that have died to make that happen. Very, very rarely does a player get injured to the point that he dies on the playing field. This is our reality and something that we volunteer for as soldiers in the United States Army. This flag was flown over Fob Shank, over my headquarters. And Coach, we wanted to give it to you. It has the dust of the country embedded in its fibers. We wanted to give it to you as a raw flag. Because remember, we're all Americans. And to me, that's first. Because without our freedoms, we wouldn't have what we have. And it's a dangerous world right now if you're paying attention to what's going on in Iraq and going on elsewhere in the world. Hell, even in our own country, in Chicago and other cities, where we're having our own issues. So, again, enjoy the time while you're playing. Best of luck this year getting after it. Congratulations for the Texas Bowl last year. We were deployed when you all won that, Coach. Again, very proud of that and all your accomplishments. But you only did that because you came together as a team. And that's where games are won or lost, is as a team. So I hope the experience that you have here next year, 287, will be your partners again. There is a new battalion commander. I introduced him to Bob yesterday, Coach Brodsky, or 2 days ago. And they're very excited to be able to continue the partnership. Coach, on behalf of 287 and all the soldiers in the unit,